and 4 life vests on board. They are underneath the back seats. There we go. You participate in those. Please don't take those out. When we come into view, we'll swing back and pick you up again. Starting at 2 o'clock, we're going to have a second boat on the river, so there's going to be a boat by every stop, about every 30 minutes or so. We're going to give you a little bit of history, some points of interest as we head upriver. We'll start off at the Platte Street Bridge here. It serves as a line of demarcation on a nautical chart. So that means it separates 2 bodies of water. That means we went from the Hillsborough Bay to the Hillsborough River. Hillsborough River is 57 miles long and it gets its headwaters up in the Green Swamp north of here. The majority of the river is freshwater, but today we're going to be traveling over the tidal zone, which means the saltwater pushes up from the Gulf of Mexico when the tide rises like it is right now. It mixes with the fresh water coming down, which gives us brackish water. That is the staple of an estuary system. All these waterways are connected to the Tampa Bay estuary, the 3rd largest in the country behind the Monterey and Chesapeake Bays. That allows a lot of marine species to make their way up through town, so keep your eyes peeled for the Atlantic bottlenose dolphin. Also see the West Indian manatee. Right now we have a stingray migration going on down the river. That tends to attract the sharks upriver. There are a lot of species of sharks that like to snack on stingrays. We're going to be making our way up into stop number 11, Manor Riverwalk. As we do so, we do need everybody to grab a seat for us, and we'll let you know when it is safe to hop off. That come down here. They hold practice and have events while their waterways are frozen up north. The city allows them to put a little school spirit up there on the seawall. They've been doing that for about 8 years now. We're going to be into stop number 10 shortly. We will let you know when it is safe to hop up and hop off. Vessels and sailing ships, surprisingly enough, to make their way up through downtown. They are all still operational, they're just not manned. You have to call 2 hours ahead of time if you want to bring a large vessel upriver. They'll send a bridge tender down to open the bridges as you go, and that is free of charge. Now, if you do call 2 hours ahead of time and you miss your scheduled opening, they're going to charge you $25,000 per bridge you cause open unnecessarily. That's an appointment you definitely want to keep. Speaking of old bridges, this one up ahead of us is the oldest on the river, built in 1914 as a Lafayette Street Bridge. In 1963, John F. Kennedy had an open-air motorcade across this bridge into downtown for a speech. 4 days later, he traveled to Dallas, and after his assassination, city leaders came together and renamed the entire boulevard and bridge after the fallen president. Left-hand side of the boat, you're going to see the silver spires, domes, and minarets of the University of Tampa. That wasn't always a school. It was built in 1891 as a luxury hotel by the railroad tycoon Henry Plant, who brought the rails down the west coast of Florida and into town. What he wanted to do is to create an exotic attraction to get more riders on his rail line, so he built what was at the time the largest hotel in the country. It has 5 stories, a dozen of those domes and minarets, and in 1891, all 511 rooms had electricity and an intercom, and that was thanks to Thomas Edison, who designed and installed the electrical system for that building. It was a first in the area. Do we have anybody looking to hop off over here at stop number 12, Curtis Hickson Park? Give us a wave, give us a shout, let us know what you do for Curtis Hickson Park. Alright, nobody drop off, nobody pick up. We'll keep on cruising. I'll tell you a little bit more about this hotel here. It was only in service for 30 years and it was sold out once, and that was in 1898 when Teddy Roosevelt and his Rough Riders came through town on their way down to Cuba for the Spanish-American War, Tampa being the main hopping off point for that conflict. Babe Ruth also signed both his major league contracts in the lobby of that building. And at the time, the New York Yankees had their spring training on Plant Field, which is underneath those stadium-style lights there, and is still in use. In the late 1920s, Mr. Plant passed away. He left the hotel to his son. The Great Depression hit. He ended up selling it to bail himself out at a great loss. A couple years later, the university was founded. They came to a pretty sweet deal of a $250,000 down payment and a 100-year annual lease of $1 a year for 12 acres of land in that big, beautiful building on the platform. This bridge in the upright position, despite its decrepit appearance, is the hardest working one on the river. It closes and opens at least twice a day, allowing trains through downtown into the port of Tampa and back again. See those two big stone counterweights on the right-hand side? They so perfectly balance out the upright portion that it only takes a 1-horsepower electric motor and gearbox to close and open that entire bridge. It's like asking your garage door opener at home to do the same thing, and considering it was built in 1916, that is a pretty impressive feat of engineering. It is the second oldest bridge on our river. That'll bring us around to stop number 14, the Straz Center. Is anybody looking to hop off at stop 14 the Straz? Looks like we have anybody waiting on us, so we can keep on cruising. The Straz Center here is the largest performing arts center on the west coast of Florida. It has 5 interior theaters, the largest of which holds just under 2,000 people. When Tampa gets those traveling Broadway shows, ballets, plays, anything like that that comes through town, they're going to make a stop out here at the Straz Center. Typically on the weekends they have these little outdoor stages on there, so yeah, it's fun. There's some solo performers. So if you're on the Riverwalk later, you can get a little bit of a show. Up ahead on the left-hand side of the boat, you're going to see a big green sculpture that is called the Form of Wonder. It is meant to represent the most important plants in our area. Those are the mangroves. The mangroves grow along our waterways and our coastlines, and their roots form a basket weave system that helps to hold all the soil in place when we get our big storms that come through. They can withstand a Category 5 hurricane and are federally protected. That sculpture is part of the Julian B Park, which is our stop 15. Was anybody looking to hop off of that beautiful park? Actually, this park reopened 3 years ago after extensive renovations. They added a bunch of sports fields, playgrounds, a free to the public water park, and they also built the Tampa River Center here. Realize how long it takes for a 30-ton boat to stop, and I think it's hilarious. So all those visiting local rowing boats need a place to store and launch their crew boats. They built the largest publicly owned boathouse in the country. $40 million went into this whole park project, but the city of Tampa didn't pay a dime for it. It was all funded by the BP oil spill and a settlement after their Deepwater Horizon. Oil company after that oil spill. So that last bridge we went under is home to a large colony of bats. They estimate there's 3,000 Mexican free-tail bats that live underneath there. If we come upriver at the right time, we'll see them falling off of their roosts. They eat all the bugs around town. They actually do help to control the mosquito population. He's one of those bats that clean their body with insects every night.
I don't know. He is a captain's license, so that's why I asked him.
This tall modern bridge we're about to head under is the I-275 I-4 interchange with the downtown exits running along it. Local drivers more affectionately know it as Malfunction Junction. This last year it was ranked the 7th most congested stretch of interstate in the country. A lot of that congestion is due to the rapidly growing population in the area. Upwards of 200 people a day are moving to Hillsborough County. That's the county we're in right now. Our roadways are not meant to handle that sort of growth. Luckily, over the next few years, there's $1 billion going into the area roads. Hopefully that'll help everything get back up to speed. Over here on the right-hand side of the boat, you're going to see an odd indentation in the Riverwalk. There's a really cool story behind that. While they're doing the geological surveys for our new seawalls, they discovered a Civil War era shipwreck buried in the river mud. It's a 150-foot-long Scottish chief, a Confederate blockade runner that routinely made trips between Tampa and Cuba. Well, that was until the Union caught wind of what they were doing, sailed a fleet upriver, and sunk that boat. So when they rediscovered it, they decided to build around it instead of over top of it. If anybody's a Civil War or just a history buff, there's a lot of information that gets kind of overlooked about all the naval battles that happened on the rivers in the South. You can really go down a rabbit hole and check out some really cool old boats that were used as transportation initially, and then they just strapped armor to them, to warships. That's going to bring us around to stop number 16. This is Tampa Armature Works, Eulaley's Restaurant, Waterworks Park. We're going to be swinging in here. If you're looking to grab a bite to eat, this is a really good stop. Tampa Armature Works has a dozen or so local restaurants in there. The building itself was built in 1904 as the service station for the streetcar system in town. So take a look above those big garage-style doors. You'll see the numbers. Those were the numbers of the tracks that used to run through the inside of the building. As we make our way into the dock here, we do need everybody to grab a seat for us. Once again, guys, we do need everybody seated while we make our way in here. Well, we hope you learned something about Tampa today, and if you did, just remember the wind and waves may rock the boat, but only you can tip the crew. We do work for gratuity here, and any and all is greatly appreciated. So just remain seated. We'll get up against here and let you know when it's safe to hop off. We're going to have a boat here every 30 minutes or so.
Oh, okay. I see it says basically. I mean, I guess.
Alright, guys. Stop number 16, Armature Works in Eulaley's. You guys are all safe to exit right hand side of the boat. Once again, stop number 16. All safe to exit on the right. Have a wonderful time, you guys. Beverages, they do have to be finished before you guys disembark over there. This is a little 4 or 5 minute heads up, but you do have to have them finished before you guys get off the dock. That is because it's out part of Riverwalk, they can't give you guys this fancy little cup. Now, if you have any questions about that, feel free to let us know. So we are 2 minutes out towards direction. I'll let you guys know once we're making our approach. Thank you guys very much. two of them are looking to jump off here at Breaks on the River. So at least we can give it a shot. Just please make sure to remain seated for us, and I'll let you guys know when it's safe to sit on. Also, just another reminder, make sure you guys have those drinks finished. You can't take them with you here.
I know it's an hour in between.
We saw the boat coming. Yeah. Socks.
I know, yeah. Oh,
Yeah, if you're suffering, you might as well. I know, because we sat there and we kept looking.
Alright, guys, if we let people hop off, then we'll get you loaded up.
¿Qué cosas en particular? No le
Go ahead, grab a seat. We'll get you some tickets here in a minute.
also as far south as this boat goes. So listen up, guys. If you are looking to go to stop number 1 at the Florida Aquarium, stop number 2 at Sparkman Wharf, stop number 3 at the Columbia Cafe, stop 4 Harbor Island, stop 8 Davis Island, or stop 9 Bayshore Boulevard, you're going to be transferring boats here, and that is included with your wristband. So if you're looking to go to stops 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, or 9, you will be transferring boats here. Now just keep in mind, that is a one-way trip. Once he gets down to stop number 1, the boat's going to sit there for about 30 minutes until he makes his way back upriver to meet us here at the dock. So if you're looking to go for more of a boat ride, we recommend you stick with us. If you're looking to hop off at any one of those stops in particular, you're going to want to hop on board with him. As we make our way into the dock, we do need everybody to remain seated. This is your final destination for the day. We do hope you enjoyed your time with us here. And if you did, just remember the wind and waves may rock the boat, and only you can tip the cruise. We work for gratuity here at Private Water Taxi. Any and all is greatly appreciated. We'll get snug up against you, let you know when it's safe to fish or barge. You're on the right-hand side of the boat. Make sure all your elbows, hands, arms, anything is inside the railings. You don't want anybody getting pinched